Hi friends! Today we're going over the new Fenty Beauty Eaze Drop Blurring Skin Tint. But first, if it's your first time here, hi, I'm Alicia. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. And if you are returning, well, thank you for visiting me again. Kinkysweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I am a fitness professional who loves things, all movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeups, you can head over to my Instagram. Before I even start this review, I love this product. I was actually floored by how much I loved it because the Fenty Beauty complexion line and I don't have a consistent timeline. The first foundation I tried from Fenty Beauty was maybe in 2017 when they dropped their soft matte pro filter foundation. I couldn't get a really great shade match. The first one was too olive and the second one was like too yellow, and it had fragrance. And then I think the next one was the hydrating foundation, and of course to my disappointment that also had fragrance too. And then rolled in the pro filter soft matte powder foundation, which I actually do like. On the first impressions, or I forgot when I first featured this product, I wasn't overly impressed by the coverage on its own. I have two shades, 280 and 300. I did appreciate this foundation's formula in being nice coverage over another foundation and not looking heavy, and that's where I thought this foundation product truly shined. But the blurring skin tint, first of all, I checked the ingredient list because I'm like, before I get excited, does it have fragrance? I went through everything, and by Josh golly, it does not. I was elated because I really wanted to give this product a try. The whole premise behind a blurring skin tint, very lightweight in nature, I think very much seasonal appropriate for where I am at NYC. In other parts of the globe, if it's still cold and windy, I don't know what's going on. But we're entering spring, and it is very much appealing to use a foundation product, a complexion product that's more lightweight than a typical foundation, and the overall product description sounds like something I'm all for. Here it is. I purchased this in Sephora, one of the retailers that Fenty Beauty is exclusively sold at. This is also available on fentybeauty.com, which I am on. To give you some deets, this product retails for $29.50. I don't think I've ever encountered like a something 50 price for a complexion product. Interesting. It comes in 25 shades. We're looking at a suggested shelf life of 12 months, 32 milliliters of product, or 1.08 ounces, a little over an ounce. And this product is made in Italy. A blurring skin tint that delivers smooth, instantly blurred skin in just a few easy drops in 25 flexible shade options. And Fenty Beauty is known for their very extensive shade range, so the fact that this is half of what they usually offer from their foundation, concealer, products, that the shades offered in this formula must cover a huge spectrum at a time. The blur is real. Rihanna wanted to create a light coverage, easy to apply, flexible skin tint that instantly evens out your complexion and give a flattering blurred effect. The blurring effect is real. That was one of the benefits I was most surprised by. Hydrating quick blur complex is perfect for a no makeup look, or for when you want to look effortlessly put together. Instant blurring skin tint, buildable to light to medium long wear coverage with quick blur complex for a hydrating diffused effect. Smooth texture that layers well with primer and skincare, applies well with fingers or brush. Yes. Humidity, sweat, and transfer resistant formula. Now, I did wear this for a few hours under a mask where not only did I work out with, but I walked 6 miles with. So it did transfer a little bit on my cheek, and you really can't see it here in this photo because it's the golden hour and the sun does a fantastic job in covering and any imperfections that I have. But the mask did wear off some of the makeup, and I did not set it on purpose just to get a better idea of its holding power. But I could imagine, because of its soft matte finish, that if you lean more towards the oily part of the spectrum, perhaps powdering a little bit will help. In fact, in today's demo, I will apply the soft filter powder foundation on top just to get an idea of how it looks, how much more coverage we can get, and also a little bit of more staying power. Whereas if you're on the drier side of the spectrum, maybe the longevity will be better. It'll be a lot more transfer proof because there's just not going to be as much slip if you were more oily. I picked up shade number 10, and I was taking a huge guess because all the shades were practically gone from the Sephora I visited. Number 10 is medium with warm yellow undertones. Here's the dropper design, which I wholeheartedly appreciate. This is the shade, and you know, I think 10 works out for me because 11, even if it might have been a shade darker, I didn't know the neutral undertone will make my complexion look drab. So that's why I picked up number 10, because I thought the warm yellow will be a better fit for me overall, just so it doesn't look so flat. And with that said, why don't we come in a little closer? That's enough. On my IG reel that I posted, I applied way too much. It was just for the dramatic effect, okay? I think this is meant to just do drop by drop. So I will deliberately just do 4 major drops on the big portions of my face. And I actually just like to apply with my fingers. I apply with the brush on the reel. And again, I apply way too much, but I think if you don't want to use as much product as I did, then 4 drops is actually really nice coverage. And then you could go in with more if you think you need a little more. I'm just being careful because I did my brows beforehand. I actually have the Charlotte Tilbury new brow stuff on. I think the dark brown, you know, I haven't decided if I like the dark brown color. It's very dark, you know. Sometimes I like it a little lighter on my brows, but you know, I like the actual pencil and the brow pomade. So here is the skin tint in number 10. You see that my heavy duty blemishes still show through, but I was expecting that considering that it is light to medium coverage, and these are so heavily pigmented still that unless I apply something significantly more pigmented with coverage, then these are still going to show through. But what I appreciate more so, and why this is by far my most favorite Fenty Beauty complexion product, it's just the ease of blend. The texture is lightweight, there's no fragrance, and I love the plush dry down that's left behind. It's not overly soft matte, so it's not drying to the skin. I did already have moisturizer on my face before I applied the Eaze drop, and I would highly recommend that you prep the skin appropriately for your condition. So if you tend to be drier, that you apply a moisturizer that's fairly occlusive and emollient in nature. But if you're oily or normal to oily, then maybe apply a primer or something that's going to take care of the excess oil. But for the most part, I really love the texture that my skin is left behind in, and it really truly, I think, is blurring. Although you can still see my blemishes show through, overall my complexion looks more even. It looks more, dare I say, a little airbrushed. I wanted to apply a little more coverage. Then I will go in back on the portions that I want more coverage on, and just for the sake of it, I'll use my finger to tap and blend. And I was worried about number 10, again, as I mentioned while doing the swatch, if it was going to be too light. It actually works out pretty well because, again, I appreciate the warm yellow undertone that is not going to make me look overly weird and yellow, but just give me the right amount of warmth, because I was afraid 11 would have been too neutral for me, because it's really tricky, these Fenty Beauty shades and I, when it comes to choosing, because sometimes I would opt for the lighter shade with the better undertone rather than my spot on shade match with the neutral undertone. I think neutral undertones for me and Fenty are a little too neutral for me. I'm taking actually sun from the swatch and patting around the areas around my brow that need a little more coverage, taking it up around the temples. So we get a little more coverage there on the blemishes, much better here on this side because they're just simply lighter. But yeah, I mean, listen, I'm very happy with this product. I've been using it for the last few days, and I think what appeals to me the most is just how non-committal it is. You don't need a brush. I wouldn't use a sponge with this because this is already so lightweight that, you know, you will want most of the product to be on your skin as much as possible. You could easily use a synthetic or natural hair brush, whichever you choose. But I just love how it feels when I use my fingers. It doesn't take any time to blend at all. It just has a really nice silky texture to it that when it dries down, it feels like I have nothing on my skin. It's undetectable. It's lightweight, but keep in mind, this is light to medium coverage. It's not going to be their Pro Filter foundation formulas, whether it's the soft matte or the hydrating, or any other foundation that you usually use that's medium to full. This is a lot more lightweight. So keep in mind if you are deciding on this blurring skin tint, because it's not going to be for everyone. This product has specific intentions in terms of how it's formulated and what it's meant to deliver coverage wise, finish wise. I feel very comfortable leaving this unset. And again, I just want to give you another shot of the skin close up just so you can see. And even with my hair, oh, it even blurs out a little bit. Appreciate that, Fenty. Now going in with 280, the powder foundation, because when I tried this, I immediately thought, wow, this will pair really nicely with their powder foundation. And I'll quickly swatch this next to number 10. And let me go to the powder foundation profile here on the Fenty site so we can get an idea of what the undertone is for 280, which many of you were so kind to suggest when I did try out this product, because 300 was a little off for me. Medium with warm neutral undertones. See, that's warm neutral, whereas the 11 in the blurring was just neutral. So the warm neutral definitely saved me. 300 is medium with warm golden undertones. So you see that's a lot more yellow. And even though the 280 is neutral, I would say the skin tint is like a good match or a good combination between 280 and 300. Taking my Kyoreido Miyabi powder brush with 280, because I just want to see if I could get a little more. But again, what I mentioned about this powder foundation and how it's very lightweight, and I think, again, an ideal product to layer with. For instance, you use your liquid foundation, but you don't want to just set it with a loose powder because you still want a little more coverage, then I think the Fenty powder foundation is an excellent product for that task. So we did take away a little bit of the shine, but not too much. I still think it soft matte, but not flat. There is still some radiance on the skin. I kept the powder foundation lower on the face. I didn't want to bring it up too high because I wanted some of that finish from the blurring skin tint to stay on the cheekbones. But see how I added a little more like golden from the 280. We got a little more coverage from that. And also I think a great reinforcing step, if you know you're going to wear this under your mask for long hours and you want the blurring skin tint to stay more intact, and if you happen to have the Fenty Beauty powder foundation, then I think that's a good way to go. Skin's looking good, friends. I really love what's happening. I know this is all about the skin, but I have to complete the look. Going in with the newly released Surat Beauty Artistique liquid blush. This is in Cantaloupe, which I think I broke it, but it's okay. I'm gonna tap that on the cheekbones. That's not your cheekbone, Alicia. It's your apple. Torche Lumiere and Dior. You know, I could have went in with a Fenty cream blush to keep it all in the family. I guess let me go get it. Hold on. I'm going in with Strawberry Drip. I think it'll be nice over Cantaloupe. And as you can see, despite the fact that we applied the Pro Filter powder foundation on top of the blurring skin tint, the skin doesn't look heavy at all. It still looks like itself. Everything is layering beautifully. It doesn't look too heavy. It doesn't look we're overly made up. We're not losing that no makeup feel of things, which I think is the toughest to accomplish, to be quite honest, because you could pile on as much as you like. That's easy, but to do so in a way that's not going to look obvious is where the skill takes place. You know what I'm saying? Going in with a little more Dior from Surat. You could go in with a cream bronzer too if you want a little more sculpt instead of the predominant like blush look we're going for here. Take one more look at this complexion. Putting on a little more of the M Cosmetics Lip Cushion Tinted Lip Luminizer in Venetian Rose, which I actually really like. One of the products are from M I really like. Here's a finished look with the blurring skin tints, with the Pro Filter Powder Foundation, a little bit of the Surratt, a little bit of Fenty's Cheeks Out Cream Blush in Strawberry Drip. I am so happy with this product. I just wanted to show, or rather film a dedicated video, just showing you the shade and the different combinations that I have been doing. And definitely the one Fenty Beauty complexion product that I am really excited for, really like. The Pro Filter Soft Matte Liquid Foundation was okay for me. I never tried the hydrating, so I really can't speak on that. I think the Pro Filter Powder Foundation shines more for me as the next step after your liquid foundation, if you want to set it, want to have a little more coverage without the skin looking heavy. But the blurring skin tint, definitely think my favorite. The concealer I like too. I think I like this more. I definitely like this more. Again, I love the packaging. It's very simple. It's small. The geometric design of the component I think is clever. I like how the lid snaps into place to secure its hold. I love the dropper design on this. I think everything about it for me checks off all the boxes. I'm really happy with my skin match. Could I experiment more? Sure, but I think if I wanted a little more warmth, instead of going, for instance, with the 280, I could have went in with 300 if I wanted a little more warmth for my complexion, if I felt number 10 wasn't giving me enough. And in terms of the shade match, you know, I think I thought about the LYS, their Triple Fix Serum Foundation, which has a little more coverage, but is similar to the skin tint. It definitely is. This has more of a satin, slightly dewier dry down than the skin blurring, which I like now, you know, as the season is getting warmer, on those really humid days. Definitely the skin blurring tint is going to be my go-to. This is a Kogen Do Aqua Foundation in 143. This does dry down a little bit deeper than how it initially swatches, but I like both shades. You know, if anything, I'll probably will mix them together. This is Suku 030, the cream foundation. Dare I say, I guess that's like similar. Has more of a satin finish. Well, actually, for Suku, the cream foundation is a little more demi-matte than your original cream foundation, but the shades are similar. I'm really happy with number 10. I was worried, but it worked out. Now, the other product that I thought about was the Surratt Dewdrop Foundation, which does have a similar coverage and feel to it. Dare I say, however, I have both number 9 and number 7. There's like a slurriness to the Surratt that, you know, I yet am unable to identify as to really pinpointing the dry down of the dewdrop. I mean, just as the name implies, it definitely has dew, but it's not, excuse me, this is number 7. This is not sticky or greasy or over emollient at all, but it feels very lightweight on the skin, the same way as skin blurring feels. It has a lightweight texture, and it does blur, I think, like the skin tint from Fenty. But as you see how the Fenty dries down, and how, I know I didn't give it much time, but the Surratt dries down, I think, a little more satin than the Fenty, not as soft matte. And just for my own curiosity, I wanted to swatch the Suku Glow Powder Foundation in 30 next to, let me see here, this is 280. That has a little more, is that like yellow? Here's number 40. We'll do it next to 300. Interesting. Look how much more sheen the Suku has and how more matte the Fenty is. That's crazy. I like both. I do prefer Suku more because I think the finish is very unique. The texture to this product, very unique. But again, highly recommend the Fenty skin tint, especially if you avoid fragrance like me when it comes to foundation products of any type. The only thing I would think you will have trouble with is shade matching, but dare I say, because this is light to medium coverage, it's meant to be as tint and not a foundation, there's more wiggle room for guessing. If you didn't guess as well as you had wanted, you could probably still get away with not being as shade matchy with this than another product that has a lot more coverage. Quick and easy, season appropriate, really nice just to get a quick face together without fully committing to a foundation, without feeling compelled to reach for a tool or a sponge. Like you saw, you could just apply this like a moisturizer, and what's left behind is a well put together complexion that still has dimension to it, evenness. If you deal with redness or slight discoloration, the blurring skin tint is going to pull it together for you in an effortless way. Let me know if you have your eye on this product, if you had already tried it. Any shade recommendations are most welcome down below, especially if one of our friends cannot make a Sephora and they have to rely on a device to figure out their shade match. You could drop your shade match down below. Any other references are welcomed. Again, I'm number 10. Think it's a pretty good match for me. You know, is there a better one? I don't really think so. I think this is pretty spot on. Again, I appreciate the yellow undertone. Neutral might have been fine, but I like this. I think I'm gonna stay here. I'll see you down in the comments, fam. And until then, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I will see you in here again with another review tutorial, blurring skin tint extravaganza, monthly favorites, or get ready with me. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.